competition day, Coach?
Yes, really good day of competition. Had a really good morning practice session just in helmets, but the guys really bounced around, got a lot done mentally and physically, had great effort this morning, and then a bunch of situational stuff this afternoon that we just can't get enough of. Especially, we're still in the phase of getting a bunch of young guys, looks and competitive reps, and so when you create just down into situations, field position situations, the more the better.
Anything stood out to you, positive or negative?
I loved our energy. We were really starting to coach each other and discipline each other and take care of some things of, just whatever it is, running on and off the field or getting lined up or communicating both down and distance, red zone, just kind of all the stuff that comes up, but really liked our energy.
How do you like the progression of the backup QBs?
Good. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. Those guys, there's no separation right now, which is fine. That's fine. But those guys are both working hard. They're both competing well. They're both doing good things. It's not a situation where you're going, oh my gosh, what are we going to do type of situation. But pleased with those guys right now.
I think consistency was something you mentioned in the spring with those guys. Is there something more specific than that you're looking for out of them right now?
No, just consistent improvement. You can get in that position, you can get in a little rut just mentally of not really being 100% dialed in, ready to roll. But knock on wood, you're a play away from everything, and so that's the hard part about that spot. But those guys are competitive guys, and they've done a good job of staying mentally into it.
Maturity of Josh Huff from freshman year to now. What can you say about where he was and where he is now?
Light years, and he still has a ways to go. That's what is so neat about when you see guys like that. But he walked today in graduation ceremony and along with Everett Benyard, and that's awesome. And sitting in his house a few years ago in recruiting, that was not at the forefront of his mind necessarily, and so that's part of the neatest thing about this is you see a guy like that mature but still has so much to do and so much to gain and so much to learn in every aspect of life.
What do you mean by not at the forefront of his mind? Is it because of thinking about being a pro, or is it?
Well, yeah, whatever it is, just growing up, when I was growing up, I didn't think about necessarily, that wasn't the number one thing on my mind. I was going to replace Roger Staubach, but in his mind, he had some other things probably on his mind, and but just a neat guy, and again, still growing up.
Did you get to talk to go ahead. You get to talk to the trainers about Thomas?
I did.
How did that go?
It went great. Thanks for asking. Appreciate that.
I figured I'd ask.
Yeah.
Anything you can tell us about it?
It went great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you find that changes at all for guys when they get that degree out of the way and they go into a season basically setting up whatever classes they want or having that?
Definitely, especially if they do it right. They still have to be in a certain number of credits, and it just depends. I can't remember exactly how his schedule is going to work, but some guys are in graduate school, some guys are maybe working on a double major or something, or minor, finishing something up. But we just try to tell our guys to maximize the 5 years. Not some guys come in with how can I milk this? How can I spread it out like you, right? Is that what you're laughing? And we want them to maximize it. Take advantage of every opportunity that is afforded to them, which is a plenty.
I'm going to ask a little quickly about Braylon Addison. What do you see improvements in him, and this could be a breakout year for him maybe?
I hope so. Yeah, Braylon's, again, a guy that's practiced just with more urgency, of just playing faster, having more awareness. Is that maturity in the system? Is it growing up? Is it realizing the role that he could play? You never know. But happy with where he's at. He's done some really good things this camp, and he's, growing up, maturing, getting tougher, just all the things that you like to see out of a guy.
How much do you think it's helped the group of QBs to work with a guy like Scott Frost? Obviously working with wide receivers before, but now a position that he's very familiar with, obviously. How much does that help them? What specifically have they picked up?
They're getting coached a lot better now, finally. They have somebody in there that knows what they're doing. He has a different, it's just a different angle on things, and they're practicing well, doing a great job.
Our competition, Dave, one side or the other come out ahead? Or?
The defense won by 1. It was a great battle. The defense really kind of took control of it in the red zone period. They did a great job just making stops had to force field goals, which the offense didn't get points for. Just that the defense got points for stopping them, and then it was back and forth the whole day. But it was a great day of competition.
So kicking some field goals in
Yep.
game type situations, how did those guys do, or what did you see out there?
I think they make every kick. I think they made every kick today. There wasn't 700. It was just less than 10. But that's always better than a lower percentage.
But that's what you wanted to get to this week,
Definitely.
wasn't it? Some live
Definitely.
for them?
Definitely. Yep. It was all a plan for the defense to stone the offense and kick some field goals.
After having the film for a scrimmage, anything stand out a second time of watching it?
Got a ton of young guys, a lot of reps, is what it turned out to be. Got some young guys. Talked about Reggie yesterday. The Robinson brothers did some good things, both defensively and in special teams. And then a bunch of guys just got out there for the first time and, kind of did their own thing and made some mistakes. And we just talked about trust your training. And so we talked about that last night. And I thought we really responded really well today, just with our energy.
When do you have a second scrimmage scheduled?
Oh gosh, I think it's next Wednesday, I believe.
And officials in place?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Any thoughts, concerns about rule changes this year, or in particular, mostly on defense with the targeting rule? Have you talked to the kids about that?
Mm-hmm.
And do the officials provide some clarification to the kids on that?
Yeah, we actually last night we watched the newest. The Pac-12 sends us, the conference sends us some video, the interpretations of the video, and we watched that last night, as well as I can't remember, 2 or 3 nights ago. We watched both the blocking below the waist changes and the targeting changes. Then there's the carrying the guy into the end zone change, 3 seconds or less play clock, or game clock change. There's a couple other more minor ones that people wouldn't notice, but we've tried to cover our bases there.
Did you guys have any hits last year that would have been suspendable this coming year?
That's a good question. I don't knock on wood, I don't think so. The ones that really stand out, I think that there was that kid last year at Washington State that I think the way that it's been explained to us is if basically everybody in the stand says that guy should be ejected, he should be ejected. And we don't, we've never coached that and don't want that. We want, our guys to keep their face up when they tackle and be fundamentally sound, be physical, and play the game the right way.
So it's maybe not as close a judgment call as some of these NFL fines that you see.
Well, that's what's tough is, those guys are trying to make that bang decision with 2 guys running sub 4.5 40s. That's hard, and if they don't have the perfect angle, that's where the ejection, hopefully we're just smart about that, and is it better to be handled at the conference level? I don't know. That's something in the future to discuss for sure.
Thanks, guys.
All right.